Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizicle, where we do everything card making. And today we are bringing back the Use It or Lose It series that I kind of somewhat started last year. I think I've done like 2 videos for it. But it was just kind of like a way to use products that I've bought and not yet used. Not necessarily getting rid of them. There are a few that I've kind of bought and like rethought it afterwards, but most of the stuff I will probably keep and find room for, but because I did buy it for a reason, but you know, sometimes that reason is just like, it's so cute, I need to have it. So I'll just show you my basket of goodies. Most of it looks like it's from Simon. There's some Mama Elephant products in here, some Doodlebug shaker bits. I thought I could make some, sorry, this is trying to focus. Make some cute shaker cards with these later in the year. This one has like cute little frogs and mushrooms, and then this one's all fishies. And you guys know I love my fish themed cards if you've been here for any length of time. I have just like some Hello Bluebird things, a couple of Lawn Fawn things. I've used the light switch, but then there are also like little glow in the dark. I have glow in the dark embossing powder from them, so I was going to use that. This one was gifted to me last year by my girl Cheryl, and I haven't yet used it, but I think it would be like a cute little card for any of your crafty friends, and I do have an idea for that a little bit later in the year again. Again, another cute little like fish and cats. I don't like fish as pets because they're boring, but they are like cute images, and like there's fun sentiments that can go with them. And I do love cats. I have 2. You've probably heard me mention them before. Some of these, like I have used like this one from Mama Elephant. This is a tag size greetings, but I haven't used a lot of these, and I don't think I've used it on camera. And there's just some that like, yeah, I haven't used them on camera, so I want to make sure I do videos. This, I've used the large set, but this is the agenda set. I don't think I should go through everything probably, but the mermaid set. I bought this thing years ago and I haven't used it yet. I used the mermaids in the Me and My Whale stamp set, and that's the only time I've used the mermaids, but I love mermaids too. Mermaids are so cute, and these are Mama Elephants, so I have to have them. Slider glider, again, I've used that before off camera, but I wanted to demonstrate one on camera. Embossing folders, trees. I had ideas for these. This one I was thinking, forget what I was thinking. I think I have a few ideas for the circles with swatches and stuff, embossing folders. Anyway, I have these like princess inspired stamp sets from Simon. Today I'm going to use this one though. This is the party set, and it's like an Alice in Wonderland themed one. And just while we're going through this anyway, I have this You Are My Universe stamp set from Simon, which I bought a few years ago, I think. When did this come out? 2023. Yeah, I bought it in 2023 when it came out because I love space themed cards as well. I have an idea for that one, so we'll do that. Again, I have a bunch of things here. Some of this was gifted to me. And this I bought at like Stamp Fest last year, which I'm excited to go to again this year. This is all my like everyday things, and then I have Halloween things slash I guess like Thanksgiving. And you know, some this guy I didn't use on, actually I don't think I haven't used him at all. This is from the 13 Days of Craftoween. Just some things that came in gift boxes. Again, some more Mama Elephant stuff. This is all my Christmas. I'm not sure why that one's in there, but this is the little art card from Mama Elephant. I got the Simon Stamptember exclusive. I have some cutouts, again, gifted. This is all of like fussy cutting images, but I cut them on my Scan-A-Cut. Snowflakes, a couple of embossing folders, and some other things. So this is the box for this year that we will, I don't know if I'll use all of it by the end of the year, but we'll try. But yeah, so sorry. For today, we will be using this party stamp set from Simon. I believe this is one of the ones designed by Alberto. And I think I'm going to use this. And then this is not a part of my paper pack, but I was thinking I could use up this Harlequin as a background because that would be like fun. I'm thinking of doing a black, pink, maybe purple and white color scheme, which, you know, this is like spades and hearts and stuff, but whatever, we're gonna color them however we want to. So we'll just get started on that, and we're gonna make a belated birthday card. I'm meeting up with a friend of mine next week, and she needs a belated birthday card. So it's been a while, and it's okay. But yeah, so I think I'll use the teacups, the happy belated birthday sentiment, and maybe one of the Alice images. I was thinking of doing this one and her like leaning up against the cups, but we'll see. So we'll get started. I'll stamp these and the sentiment for sure, and I will get some black cardstock to coordinate with this because I think I'm going to use this as a full card front, and then I'll do a smaller black panel on the top and then color and cut these out on my ScanNCut. So I will move over to voiceover, speed things up, and we will make a belated birthday card because I need those. I'm really good at remembering people's birthdays, but then when it comes to, you know, closer to the date when I'm supposed to like actually give the card, I always forget to bring cards. So I definitely gonna have to make some belated birthday cards for this year, and we'll definitely also make a ton of birthday cards because I am very low on stock. I think I have 2 or 3 birthday cards left. So we'll be working on a lot of birthday cards this year as well. Anyway, we'll move to voiceover, speed things up, and discuss the card as we go. Okay, so voiceover Liz here. So I'm going to start with the background of the card, which turned out a little bit different than what I explained at the beginning on what I wanted to do, because I realized that the teacups were a lot taller than I thought they were going to be. The stamp is probably about 5 inches to just under 5 inches in height, so that kind of takes up most of the height of a normal A2 sized card. I probably could have done what I wanted to do on a 5x7, but I usually work with an A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just because I find it's more of a better use of your cardstock, because for letter size paper you get 2 card bases out of it. And then anytime I do any other card sizes, like if I do a 5x7 or if I do a slimline or a mini slimline, I'll just take those scraps of cardstock and use them to stamp and color with, because I use the same hammer mill cardstock for my card bases that I do for my stamping images. So I will save the leftovers for that, but again, like I find the A2 size, like it's a nice size, you don't have to fill up a ton of space, and it's just a better utilization of your letter size paper here in North America. Anyway, I know every other country has like a different size of standard paper that they use, so use whatever is best for you in your area, and whatever works, you know. If you buy pre-made card bases, it's not a problem. Also, what you should do when you have patterned paper in the background that you want to use and you want it in a specific placement, I would try to use a die as much as possible, or create some kind of like template that works so that you can kind of like plan out where your lines go. For me, I was kind of like free cutting with just my trimmer, but I think like with these types of patterns where they're geometric and I want them kind of to be a little bit more centered, then I should have grabbed my nesting dies. I did buy a nesting die set for this purpose to kind of like align your cut panels with the pattern paper that you're working with. So if I was going to do this again, I would use that. I'm just too lazy to drag out the dies sometimes, and I just like to use my guillotine trimmer because it's quick. And I also get like somewhat better use out of the paper because I'm not moving things around as much. Like sometimes when you go to use a pattern paper, you want a specific area. You might have more wastage around the outside. With this print, it's just a repeat pattern, so it's not bad, but there are other prints out there where you want like a specific area, and maybe that's in the middle of the cardstock, and then you're somewhat wasting the cardstock around it if you're not using it for anything. But yeah, so I really love the way this card turned out, and I decided to use the pattern paper that I had originally thought that I would use with my last release, but I didn't. I did show it to you guys last week during that release, but I do like the scale of it now that I'm actually used it for a card. The color is cute. I'm thinking maybe we could release this as a separate paper pack. It would just be like this print, and then I would do it in like rainbow colors. So I would probably have more than 6 prints, which is what I generally do, which is fine. I just have to change the one color because I was thinking black, white, and whatever that third color is. So I would do like a red, an orange, a yellow, and then obviously green, blue, purple, pink, teal, or something. And then just make that as a paper pack. And I could, again, use this pattern and make adjustments to it later, add 3 colors for other paper packs and whatnot. But it's just like a quick and simple Harlequin print that I did. And I, again, really like the way that it turned out, especially with this card because it's kind of somewhat related to the Alice in Wonderland kind of theme where it's has to do with like card suits because it's kind of diamonds. So we have diamonds, hearts, and spades. The only one we're missing on here is a club, which I'm just realizing now as I look at the card. But it fits. I picked colors that went with it and colors that suited the characters. And the pink markers that I picked my markers based on a card I made a couple years ago for it. And the colors on the swatch card I have are faded. So I kind of picked it on how the color will fade over time because the pink doesn't match exactly, but it will match closer to the background color probably in about a year or something when it fades, because alcohol markers are not archival. They will fade over time, and sometimes the color does bleed more and more into the paper over time, I have found, because I've had some colored images from like a few years ago where the color has bled outside of the lines, and then you kind of get like a yellow color or whatever color it is outside the lines, and then you kind of have to go over with a white gel pen to cover those out. I've noticed that on a few things. Majority of the stuff I don't think I've had an issue, so it could also have to do with the cardstock I was using at the time I made those specific images. But I'll just have to check some of the cards I have laying around. I have a whole box of cards that I still need to get rid of for various occasions, and I need to make a lot more for birthday and Christmas and everything. I was just telling, I forget who I was telling. I think I was telling my sister, I have to make like a dozen Christmas cards a month this year because it's just, I don't want to leave it to the very end of the year like I did that I did last year. Sorry. Getting a little tongue-tied here, but I did so many last-minute cards and I felt so like out of time and stressed out last Christmas because I just didn't have enough cards. I wasn't feeling it last year, but then I'm like, okay, I need all of these cards for different people and I need to do them now. And then even after Christmas I was like, oh, I still have like a few others to do. So I did a few after Christmas for Christmas presents that I gave a bit later. But yeah, I don't want to have to do that again this year. I want to have majority of my Christmas cards done, if not all, by November. That's my goal. So we'll try that. Because, like, yes, I want to make a dozen cards a month, but I want to make a dozen cards a month outside of my Christmas challenges and Christmas card series. July might count as the 12 for the month. We'll see. Because I tend to do a bunch of Christmas and July videos. Plus, I am doing the holiday card hijinks challenge again that I do for Christmas on the 25th of every month. This year's hashtag is obviously HCHJ 2026. But I'm not putting up a prompt list for that this year. I have decided to just kind of like go with the flow and come up with something. I'm pretty much the only one doing it anyway. I don't know anybody else who posts, and if they do, they're not tagging me. But if anybody does want to join in, I know there's other card challenges on the same days, but if anybody wants to join me for Christmas card making, just, hashtag HCHJ 2026, and then tag me at Let's Get Lizicle, either on your Facebook or Instagram, so I can see your creations, and that would be great. But anyway, back to this card. I'm just still coloring them. I did, like these kind of more muted pinks, and I did like a bright blue because it's kind of like, Alice's dress color. I also colored her a little bit differently. I kind of make it look like she has like that white bib at the front, like the traditional like Disney Alice in Wonderland. I just colored the side panel right under her arm a little bit blue, and I left the rest of it white. But I did color her as like a classic Alice in Wonderland from Disney. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I like the more somewhat obscure ones. Like, I know a lot of people like Alice in Wonderland, but I'm also like, my top 5 are probably Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Sword and Stone, and I thought of this earlier. There's a couple of others that I like that are Robin Hood. I love the music in that one, and just like the animation, and it's fun, fantasy kind of stuff. And Beauty and the Beast is classic. Everybody loves that one, but yeah, those are like my probably top 5 Disney movies. I have other ones that I love as well. Obviously, I grew up in the golden age of Disney animation, and there's a ton of great movies, but I like the more obscure ones. So anyway, I decided to, this is actually my second time coloring this image. I started coloring it before I got probably like 3/4 of the way through, and then decided I didn't like it. So I'm starting again, and this is what came of it. You'll also notice that I, off camera, decided to add, it's a cool gray 9. It's not quite black, but when I went over the colors, it kind of looks like a black, just in slightly different tones depending on what cup it's on. But I decided that the image itself needed more contrast, and I did that off camera. And then for the like border, I thought that coloring it in black would just like make it pop and stand out a lot more, which it did. I'm glad I did that. And then I was just kind of like debating on whether or not to color in between the handles here, but it makes it look like the outside has like a really thick black outline, and if I was going to do it on the outside, that I should do it on the inside of the handles. I don't have the die. I don't even know if the die cuts out the handles or if it just cuts around it. I think I looked at it. I think it just cuts around the images. If it cut the handles, like a little bit of the handles out, I'd probably buy the set. But if it's just cutting out the main image, then my scan and cut does that fine. So I'll stick with that. I would like ones to cut out the sentiments, because I'm loving sentiment die cuts, but not sure if the set includes that. I might have a look at it. I might buy the set for it eventually, but for now we're just gonna use a scan and cut and fussy cut out sentiments. So yeah, so I did just a couple of the cups blue, just because I didn't want too much blue on it, because like Alice is still here, so I wanted her to be like the third point of blue. I guess it somewhat looks like there's 3 sections of blue in the cups anyway. I'm not sure if that top one is supposed to have liquid in it, or if it's just like that's the inside of the cup, because now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think this is supposed to have like tea or whatever else, hot chocolate or whatever you want to put in it. You could definitely put any kind of green tea in there, regular tea, spruce it up. Green would not look good with this card, so I just decided to color it like it was the inside of the card. And for the cups, I propped it up on some 1mm foam tape from scrapbook.com, and then the little girl image I propped up with my 3M foam dots, and put them in areas where they shouldn't have been. I was just like doing this on like, you know, as it went and not really thinking. And then I was like, oh, I need to actually take off a few of these. So I did rip the back of the cardstock a bit because these 3M ones are actually really good and sticky. And as soon as they're down, they're down. I was pretty careful with it. But then I also needed to prop her head up on another layer of that 1mm foam tape just to make her a little bit more even. And then here I am trying to cut out the sentiment. I was going to try to cut it straight over the happy and the birthday, and then I was going to fussy cut around the belated. Realized that I could not do that fully and just ended up cutting out the whole thing after anyway because I wanted to round the edges. But again, I propped both of those ends up on foam tape. One end, of course, I did too much and had to scale back, but you'll see that here in a second. And then after that, I added a few black gemstones to it just to add a little bit of sparkle. And I actually added my white highlights on camera for a change because I always forget those and add them after. And you guys like hardly ever get to see me do it because it's kind of an afterthought after. I was like, oh, a card done. And then I look at it and I'm like, it's missing something. I was debating on adding a little bit of the glitter gel pen, but decided not to. I just decided to go with the white highlights and left it at that. And same with Alice, like I added white highlights to her bow, her hair, her dress, and her shoes. And then that's pretty much our card for today, guys. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because I'd love to have you here. Stay tuned next week. Next week we are also continuing our Fruit Dragon series, so I will be coloring a dragon that will somewhat resemble Kiwi. And on Sunday we'll have our first Christmas card of the season with my hashtag, again, HCHJ2026. And no prompt for this month. Well, there's not going to be a prompt for any month. But we're going to be making some fun snow globes without snow globe dies. So yeah, you'll want to stay tuned for that because you'll have ideas on how to make snow globes with existing dies that you already have. So yeah, until next time, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And stay safe. Stay warm if you're here in Canada, in southern Ontario, because it's snowing like crazy. And it's cold outside. Anyway. Rambling done for today. So until next time, thanks guys. Bye.